And go.
So let's all bend our knees and bring our feet flat to the floor. Let's take a couple more decompression breaths here. And let's start to get a little bit of movement in the spine and in the hips. So let's gently rock our knees side to side, nice and easy. Not pushing into any pain. You may feel a little bit of a stretch in the spine or in the hips, depending on your flexibility level. Nice and controlled, legs rocking side to side. If you have pain on one side or both sides, stop before you push into that pain. And let's bring our legs back to the middle. Reaching behind our right knee, let's pull that leg up towards our chest. Again, getting a nice stretch in the back of the hip or in the low back. Still breathing here, taking those nice decompression breaths. Go ahead and release the right leg. Let's pull the left knee up towards our chest. Again, to get a nice stretch in the low back and in the hips. And still breathing here. Go ahead and release the left leg. Reach behind your right knee again. Start to straighten your right knee until you feel a stretch on the back of your leg. Then gently start to pump your ankle up and down. Now we're just looking for a light to medium stretch. We're not looking for an intense stretch or pulling sensation at all, and we definitely don't want to push into any pain. So nice and easy with that ankle. You should feel the stretch on the whole back of your leg. Let's bend the right knee and release the right leg. Reaching behind the left knee. Same on this side, straightening that knee till you feel stretch on the back of the leg and slowly pumping the ankle up and down. Nice and easy. Make sure you're still breathing. And bend the right knee, or left knee, and release the left leg. Okay, with both knees bent and our feet flat on the floor, let's cross our right ankle over our left knee. Now if you already feel a stretch in your hip, you're going to stay here. If you don't quite feel a stretch yet, you're going to start to press down on your right knee, pushing it down and away from your head. Okay. If you feel a stretch here, this is where you stay. If you're a little bit more flexible, you're going to reach behind your left knee and pull your legs up towards the chest. Remember, we're just going for a light to medium stretch. Take this moment to check in with your breathing. Make sure you're still taking those nice decompression breaths. Release the left leg and uncross the right ankle. Now we're going to cross the left ankle over the right knee. Okay, hold here if you already feel a stretch. Otherwise, apply that same gentle pressure down through the left leg. If you feel a stretch there, that's where you stay. If you're not feeling a stretch yet, you're going to reach behind your right knee and pull those legs up towards your chest. And breathing here. Go ahead and release the right leg and uncross the left ankle. We're going to cross our right ankle over our left knee again. This time, we're using that right leg to pull both knees down towards the floor. Get a nice stretch through the back and the hips. You're only going to your tolerance. If you like, you can bring your left arm up over your head and let it rest on the floor. Then really focus on breathing into the left side of your rib cage. Go ahead and bring that left arm down, bring our legs back to center, and uncross the right leg. Crossing our left ankle over our right knee. Let's bring those legs down towards the floor to get a stretch the other way. If you like, bring that right arm up over your head and then really breathe into the right side of your rib cage. Bring that right arm down, legs back to center, and uncross the left ankle. So now that we've worked on our flexibility, we're going to work a little bit more on our stability. So let's bring our attention to our necks. I want you to slightly tuck your chin down and press back very gently into the floor, kind of like you're flattening the curve of your neck. And relax. Again, slightly tucking that chin, pressing back, just enough to create tension on the front of your neck. And relax. And one more time, chin down, head back. On this next one, we're going to start the same chin tuck, but now we're going to engage our shoulder blades at the same time. So squeezing those shoulder blades down and in towards the spine to open up the chest. Not as hard as you can, just enough to create tension in the upper back area between your shoulder blades. And relax. And again, tuck your chin, head back, and squeeze the shoulder blades. Think like you're moving the bottoms of your shoulder blades in a diagonal pattern down and in towards your spine. And relax. Two more here. Tucking the chin, engaging the shoulder blades, still breathing. And relax. Last one. Squeezing, engaging, and breathing. And relax. So now let's work on activating our abdominal muscles. Keeping our knees bent and our feet flat on the floor, you can let your hands rest on your stomach. what I want you to do is pull your belly button up and in towards your spine. Not so much that you're flattening the low back or really getting any movement at all. We're just looking for tension underneath our hands on the front of our bodies. And relax. So again, drawing belly button up and in. Focus on maintaining that tension while still breathing normally. And relax. And again, we're engaging. You may find in the beginning that you have to take a slightly smaller breath in order to maintain that tension. But again, the goal is to be able to maintain that tension and breathe normally. And relax. If that's challenging for you, or if you're having a hard time maintaining that tension and breathing, you're going to stick with the same activation. If you've been coming to the class for a while, we're going to start adding in some leg movement. So again, everybody's going to pull their belly buttons up and in towards their spine. Beginners are going to stay here. If you're a little bit more advanced, you're going to start to lift one knee up towards your chest and then set it back down on the floor. Re-engage if you need to, and then lift the other leg up just a little and back down. Now if your hands are resting on your abdomen, you may feel a little bit of a wobble in your pelvis. Okay, the goal is to minimize that wobble by maintaining tension in the abdominals. Take a moment to check in with your breath. Make sure you're still breathing normally. One more time on each side. Bring your feet back down to the floor and relax. And take a nice decompression breath here. Remembering to elevate, expand, and engage. Okay, and then let's slowly turn onto our sides and transition all the way up to hands and knees. Now, if this position is uncomfortable for you, these exercises can be done from a chair. So we want our knees underneath our hips, hands underneath our shoulders. Hands can be slightly turned out or a little bit wider if need be. And from here, we're going to start with some gentle movement in the spine. So we're going to round our spine up towards the ceiling as we look down between our knees. And then let our spine sink down towards the floor as you look up in front. And rounding up towards the ceiling as high as you can without pain. And sinking down towards the floor. Let that pelvis rock. Bring your chin up just as high as is comfortable. And up towards the ceiling. And back down towards the floor. We're going to do 3 more here. Make sure you're still breathing. Last one. And then bring our spine back to the middle. Gently pull your head back as you tuck your chin. Then we're going to take our left arm, reach underneath our right arm, and get a nice twist in the spine. And then bring your elbow up, reach up towards the ceiling, and twist your spine the other way. We want the movement to mostly come from the spine, not flinging the shoulder back. And reach under. Take a moment to breathe here. And up towards the ceiling. Again, reaching under. And up towards the ceiling. 2 more. Reaching under. Hold for a moment here. And up towards the ceiling, and we'll hold for a moment here. Last time, reaching under. And up towards the ceiling. And bring that left hand back down to the floor. And take a nice decompression breath here. Really expand your ribcage all directions. And as you exhale, really engage those muscles on the front of your body. Now with our right hand, we're going to reach underneath the left arm. Get a nice twist in the spine the other way. And reaching up towards the ceiling. And reaching under. And up towards the ceiling. Reaching under again. Holding here. And up towards the ceiling, still breathing. 2 more. Reaching under, get a nice stretch through the back of the shoulder, through the spine. And reaching up towards the ceiling. Last time, reaching under. And up towards the ceiling and hold here. Good. Bring both hands to the floor and take another decompression breath. When you're ready, go ahead and come all the way up to a standing position.
And remember, we're going to continue to breathe. We typically facilitate that by using our hands. We're going to find sort of the top of our hip bone, bottom of our ribs with our thumb. And remember, we're going to breathe nice and deep. So remember, as we breathe, you should feel the distance between your fingers and your thumbs expand. We're going to engage the muscles to hold that height as we exhale. Keeping with the breathing, I want to softly bend the hips, softly bend the knees, so we're not locked out at this point. I want to slowly bring our hands to the sides, creating these little wings. Again, soft joints in this position. Now as we breathe, I want everyone to check in with their chins, making sure our chins aren't jetted forward, making sure the chin is pulled back. So again, from this position, we stay nice and long through our breathing. Hands come to the sides, small bend in our legs, and chin sort of tucked back, okay? From this position, I want us to put a little bit of tension on our shoulder blades. We really start to open up that chest. And from this position, we're just going to breathe. Let's bring our hands back in, finding those bony landmarks. Let's squeeze and pull our hips forward, standing up nice and tall. Good. So let's go through that sequence again. Again, checking with our breathing, making sure we're elongating the spine, getting nice and tall. From this position, we can start to sort of soften those hips and those knees. Check in with the chin, making sure we're pulling that back. Nice elongation out of your neck. Arms come to the sides. Create those nice little wings to the side. Tension on those shoulder blades, opening up that chest. Now from this position, I want to start challenging ourselves to push our hips back. So again, staying nice and tall, continuing to breathe. Moving our hips towards the back of the room. When we don't feel like they can move possibly back any further, we're going to bring those hands forward just to offset that weight a little bit. Staying nice and long to the spine. Chin is tucked back. If we would like to challenge ourselves, those arms can come a little higher. Good. Let's bring those hands back down to the outsides. Hips are going to be pulled forward and up. Stay nice and strong. We can bring those wings back in. Establish that breathing. And relax. Good. We're going to try that same sequence through a slightly varied distance in our hips now. So I want everyone to take a relatively wide stance on our mats. You may need to turn sideways in order to do so. Check your feet. I want them relatively neutral, so toes forward. And again, let's check back in with our breathing. Again, we're just going to go through those cues. Again, chin pulled back. Soft bend in those legs, staying nice and tall. Arms are pulled to the outsides. All right, start to hinge at the hip, bringing those hips back. We may not move as far, and that's okay. When we don't feel like we can move any further, hands come forward to offset that weight. We should feel the tension in our hips right now. Really challenge yourself. How far back can we push those hips towards the back of the wall? Again, to challenge yourself, those arms can come even higher. So we're almost in like a partial squat position. Very good. Arms come back down. Pull to the outside. Again, from this position, check back in with that chin, making sure our chest hasn't collapsed. Pull in the shoulder blades back. Arms get pulled in, hips get pulled forward and up. Very good. to play on that, we can change our hip position again. Bring our feet in. Even so that our toes are actually touching now. So small gap between our heels, toes are touching like we're almost rolled in just a little bit. Tops of our thighs, it's okay if they touch. We want a little squeeze there. Okay, and again, do that very same sequence. Hands in position, stay nice and tall. Again, don't forget to check back in, making sure we're keeping a small squeeze in the top of those thighs. Legs are going to soften as the arms come out to the sides. We're going to bend at those hips. Again, not allowing your spine to collapse. We're staying nice and straight. Arms come forward as the hips get pulled back. Elevate those arms if you can. Challenge yourself. Arms back down to the sides. Pulled in as those hips get pulled up. Very good. Okay, so again, working from that nice tall posture. Remember, our belly is tucked in and up towards our spine. I want us to all take a comfortable step forward with our left leg. I want us to sort of reassess sharing that load 50-50 at this point. Okay, so again, nice comfortable step with that left leg. Let's go through our series. So again, hands on the abdominal area, finding our hips as well as our ribs. We're gonna need it nice and tall. Through that decompression breathing. Good, remembering to check back in with your chin. Make sure it hasn't migrated too far forward. Shoulder blades are pulled back, opening up that chest. From this position, those arms can fall to the side, creating those small wings to the side. Okay. Nice decompression breath from here. Now from this position, if you need to adjust your feet to account for your balance, please do so. Now watch me carefully. As I begin to shift my weight forward towards that front leg, the hands also come forward. So we're shifting 75 to 80% towards that front leg, and the heel on our back leg very well may come up. It's a little more challenging for that leg that's in the forward position. Keeping those joints nice and soft. Good. Let's bring those arms back to the side. Stand up nice and tall, shifting that 8-50-50. Hands come back in. Establish that nice tall breathing. Good. Step back and shake it out. Good. Let's see if we can try that with the left or with the right leg this time. So again, comfortable step forward with that right. Again, not too narrow that your balance is compromised, but not too wide that you're not challenging yourself. So from this split leg position, what we're gonna do is get our hands in position. Starts to cue that nice tall decompression breathing. Remember, on our exhales, we squeeze that abdominal muscle. Staying nice and tall. Hands start to float to the outside. Shoulder blades are pulled back, opening up that chest. Come with me now, we're gonna shift that weight forward as the arms come forward. Remembering that 75 to 80% of our weight can be on that front leg, really challenging yourself. Keeping that hip bent, knees are bent. Heel on the back leg comes up just a little bit. Now don't try to strain your neck and look up. Find that gaze 6 to 10 feet in front of you. Keeping that chin aligned, keeping that neck aligned. Good, let's bring those hands back. Find your abdominal muscles. Stand up tall and step forward. Good, let's shake that out. Good. What we're gonna try now is to just do some very basic squatting. Start to move more from our hips, less from our low back, less from our knees. Okay? So again, find a comfortable position, something maybe between hip and shoulder width. What we want to do, I'm going to start with my hands on my hips. What I want to do is softly unlock those knees. Softly unlock the hip. And in our prior activity, remember, we want to get more comfortable with shifting those hips to the back of the room. And then squeezing and pulling up tall. Again, we're not letting the rest of our posture fall apart. We're still staying nice and tall through that spine. We're just dipping those hips towards the back of the room. And squeezing and standing up tall. Good. Now if you need to adjust your feet a little wider or a little more narrow, do so. Okay, I chose to come out just a little bit wider. It feels a little more natural. And from this position, we're going to unlock those hands, bring them to the front, because now we're really going to start to challenge those hips and how far back can they get? How low can we get those hips? Okay, so let's do these together. Again, stay nice and tall, keeping that good decompression breathing, keeping that tension in our abdominal wall. Let's all go back. And up. The hands are there to sort of act as a counterbalance to your hips. So again, let's go back. Squatting down, staying in control, squeezing and coming up. Good. Hips are back, lowering down. Squeezing and coming up tall. Good. We have two more. Down. And up. Good. One more. And squeeze and stand up tall. Very good. Now, several of these exercises may have left you with maybe some tension around your shoulders and neck. We're moving in different ways maybe you haven't moved before. So we're going to attempt to address some of that now, okay? So again, shoulders are pretty relaxed. Chin is going to be tucked back just a little bit. And very simply, we're just going to dip that ear towards that shoulder. Now, I'm never pulling into pain. Small amount of tension on the side that's being stretched. And we're just letting gravity kind of do what it does best. Again, we're leaving those shoulders and those hands relaxed. If you want to turn those palms forward, you definitely can. Keeping that light tension on your neck, we can begin to sort of move our eyes down towards the floor. Or think about rolling your chin down just a little bit. You may feel the pull or the tension move, and that's okay. Stretching different parts of our neck. What we're not doing is inflicting pain, shrugging our shoulders. And again, with that same amount of tension, we're gonna roll our gaze up just a little bit. Let's roll into that neutral position, eyes forward, and head is up. Good, shake that out. Let's repeat on the other side. So again, checking back in with that chin, make sure it hasn't jetted forward on us, okay? Pull that chin back just a little bit. And allowing that head to fall towards the opposite side. Now, whatever position for your hands and arms are most relaxed, that's the position you should be in right now. And again, never painful. Good, let's start to roll that chin down towards the floor. We're continuing to breathe, we're not holding our breath. Good. That same amount of light tension, let's roll that chin up. Exploring some of that tightness. Good, eyes forward. Head up. Good, shake it out. Again, some of us might have noticed some tension in our shoulders. We're going to attempt to address that as well. So again, just wrapping up, finishing up. What we can do is, again, soft and gentle. We can tuck those shoulder blades back and down towards our spine. Okay, again, find a position with your feet that feels most comfortable. And relax. Pull those shoulder blades back and down, opening up that chest. And relax. Back and down. And relax. 2 more times. Again, pull those shoulder blades back and down, opening up the chest, staying nice and tall. One more time, please. Pull those shoulder blades back and down. And relax. Good, shake that out, please.